Namaste. So often we hear about, people who are anath. It's a very wrong word. It should be erased from the dictionary. Not having parents is not anath. Nath is with everybody. Nath is the Lord. Nobody can be without the Lord. Even the darkest, densest corner, there is the Lord and He takes care of everybody in His own way. I was speaking about, in the previous gems about how the Lord cares even of the sick, the destitute, the completely. He's the refuge of the lost. We may not understand His ways, but He provides. And there's so many examples of the mad person. Everywhere He provides. Even when we cannot see and understand things look very abominable, still He provides. That is His way. So there is the Lord with us. So what is He providing, and is His help available to human beings? Well, very much. And that is what the next gem is going to reveal to us. The passage, very much. What is that aid? Why we do not access it? Because we never look in that direction. We are busy with all other kinds of help except the one help that is the most readily accessible. We don't even have to take out the mobile phone and dial a number. What greater help can be there? Because the number is imprinted in the heart. All that we need to do is to call. And countless examples. I'm not saying anything which is just purely, a good thing to hear. It's not a euphemism. It's not like, oh, it's so nice to hear. It's not a sentimental thing. Everybody in life who has gone through life sincerely calling the Lord knows definitely there would be experiences where He intervenes in the most enigmatic, unimaginable ways and changes the fixed course of things. So this is what this gem reveals to us. Yet a spiritual secret aid is there. Now we had read about the gods and their action. But there is a yet. Yet means it may look like gods are acting impersonally, not caring about us. Gods may do, but God, He is dwelling within us. He is the ultimate Lord. Yet a spiritual secret aid is there. While a tardy evolution's coils wind on, the gods know it is going to take time. Sometimes the passage will be through hell. But then there is the divine Himself within us, and nature use her way through adamant. Nature will say that you have to go through Kurukshetra. No choice. You try to avoid it, like Achilles trying to avoid the Trojan War. He gives all kinds of excuses. Or like certain people trying to avoid the vaccine. Achilles is the example. Poor fellow tried everything. I don't want to go into war. I have a little baby. But then eventually, dharma yuddha, dharma kshetre, kurukshetre, ye to dharma yuddha hai. He goes into the war. And he's a killing machine. I mean, Achilles doesn't need anybody. And he goes into the war. So this is how destiny takes you. Because that's his glory. He has to fall in that war. But in a glorious way. He's like Bhishma actually. He's the son of a goddess and human. So he has to die a glorious death. He can't die ordinary like farming and doing all that. He is Kshatriya. So he goes into the war. So nature use her way through adamant. Forcibly it will take you. Destiny will find its way. A divine intervention thrones above. Still, the final word, there is the Lord seated above. Divine intervention. And what does He do? Alive in a dead rotating universe, we whirl not here upon a casual globe. Abandoned to a task beyond our force. So this idea when people say, Korte parbe na, habe na, I can't do it, it's not impossible. That means you don't trust. Who is saying that you do with your strength? Call her, she will do it for us. And several times mother has said, my child, call me, I am here to do it for you. But calling we have to do, that's our free will choice. So we are not abandoned to a task beyond our force. If the supramental change is decreed, the means are also decreed. If divinization of matter is the destiny of man, everything has been already provided for that. Even through the tangled anarchy called fate, and through the bitterness of death and fall, an outstretched hand is felt upon our lives. There is no assurance about outer things. Tangled anarchy called fate. The bad guy keeps triumphing, and the good guy keeps falling. Tangled anarchy. What is this? Or randomly events are happening. You try to categorize, find a statistical analysis, chi-square test. Who really wins, good or bad? You just can't make out because it says 50-50. Tangled anarchy called fate. Yet there is an outstretched hand. It is near us in unnumbered bodies and births. As we go through lives, it comes nearer and nearer. It is near us in unnumbered bodies and births. In its unslackening grasp, it keeps for us safe. So, what has it kept with it as a security? At one of the places in agenda, Mother says that Sri Aurobindo's action is becoming more and more wide. It's over all the points in the world he's touching. So the disciple says, but I feel the atmosphere is rotten. She says, yes, precisely because of that. Because the world is not ready, he is putting pressure on everything, and so the resistance is also coming out like that. This is beautifully described in the agenda. I'll probably read the passage somewhere. That Sri Aurobindo is putting pressure more powerfully. The world is not ready, so more resistance. So he puts. After all, the Lord is Lord. He's not going to give up, no? So this is where. But something is kept in its unslackening grasp. What is it? The one inevitable, supreme result no will can take away and no doom change. One thing which has been promised to us. When we jumped into this adventure of time and death and space, one thing was given to us. Keep it, keep it, keep it. What is it? Already I am giving you pass marks. What for? Immortality. Hurry, we are going into the den of death. Conscious immortality. You will. Sure, Lord. Yes, of course. How will it be possible? I'll forget everything. I'll remember. No, you'll forget. I won't forget. I'm coming into you, coming with you, taking the plunge. So you see, what is that which has been promised to us? And if you see, this is what is promised in the Gita. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshishami masucha. No God has ever said, no divine being, now that you have turned to me, except the, people who try to convert by all kinds of false lures. No God has ever said in your life you will never fall ill, your child will not argue against you, your wife will not run away, or your husband will not ditch you. No, these are not secure. All of these things may happen. But there is something which the Lord has decided to give, and He will give you. And what He has decided to give will go through all this. The crown of conscious immortality. Just imagine. You will discover your soul and you will discover the immortal substance. And with that, you will discover the immortality even of the mind, body, and life. This has been promised. The crown of conscious immortality. The Godhead promised to our struggling souls. When first man's heart dared death and suffered life. It fills us. First, when we took the plunge, the promise was given to us. And that eternal promise of the Lord is always there. He never forgets. But that promise is not about, on the way, when Mother said, when I told you it's a great adventure. So she said, what will happen to you? I do not know. But one thing is sure. She has made it very clear. One thing is sure. That the end is certain. But the path and the passage, many things may happen. So what? She is the one who will carry us through everything. So this is the Godhead promised to our struggling souls. Not that I have turned to you, so I'll suddenly, one day the chopper will, the roof will break and Kuber will descend with 5G packs and tell us that, look, your lottery has come. No. On the contrary, even your hard earned money may go away. Because the Lord may see, this is the one thing which is keeping you tied, okay? But that which He has promised, if we value it, the crown of conscious immortality, the deathless being, and then when we play and enter into life, it's a totally different game. Namaste.